Okay, we can continue on with part 3 now. Sorry, replace the lead in my pencil. Okay, so I remember the last step. I did an extension line here, an extension line here, and I'm going to show the length of the car. Remember to try to keep your dimension lines about the same distance away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw dimension line here and here, and I'm going to put my arrow leader there. I'm going to put my arrow leader there. I'm going to show that dimension as 12 inches. And then I just need a couple more dimensions, and then I'm ready to start designing my car. First thing that I need to do, I need to come here, and I need to come here. And if you remember from the dimension that I used for the compass, that is a 3/4 inch diameter hole for the end of the CO2 cartridge hole. And I need to come to, from the center of that hole, I need an extension line and an extension line, because I need to show that that dimension was 1 1/4. Show that that dimension line was that dimension, I'm sorry, was 1 1/4. So I'll go there and there, and it's 1 1/4 of an inch. Oops, close top 4, make it look nice. So 1 1/4 of an inch. And then I also need to show on this end view here to there that was 11/16. And I'm at one of those points where I don't think I have enough room in here. So I'm going to do this thing where I do the little arrows pointing together. And I'm going to show that that's 11/16 of an inch, and basically it's to the center of the block. And then I have to show one more dimension here. I have to come from the edge of that to the end of the block, because I have to show on the drawing how deep to drill that CO2 cartridge hole. And if you remember from earlier, and I'm going to try to keep, remember I'm trying to keep all these dimension lines the same distance. So I'm going to go there, and I'm going to go here. I'm going to show that that is drilled 2 inches deep. So here you see I have the basic drawing laid out. So the next thing that I would want to do is I would want to start taking and go to a blank piece of paper, just a scrap piece of paper. The requirement, by the way, I'm going to get a blank piece of paper, and you want to start sketching out some CO2 car ideas. So you might want to make some sketches to the design that you might want to make. Cartridge hole would go here, axle holes maybe here and here. Let's see. Could maybe go, make it kind of cool and aerodynamic. Bring it here, bring it there. Axle hole there, maybe cartridge hole set up here. So what I want you to do is to do about 5 to 7 sketches. This does have to be turned in with your final drawing. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from my sketches, I'm going to take my favorite sketch, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to start drawing that design right in. And I'm going to make it as aerodynamic as I can, because I want to have the fastest car in the class. So there is my top view, and I think that's pretty aerodynamic. I think I'm going to try to put a little fin on it here. I think I'm going to try to keep the aerodynamics going here. I think I'm going to curve it up. Actually, this is from that very first sketch that I made. I kind of like that. So I'm going to come down, and I want to keep the front end of the car kind of low. And then I'm going to lay out location for axle holes about here and about there. And I might want to go back and change those when I get ready to drill, but I'm going to put those about there and there. Good idea is to keep your axle holes about, and you can see that that's a pretty good guess, keep your axle holes about 1/4 of an inch, about 1/4 of an inch up from the bottom edge of your car. That way your car won't drag. And I'm keeping my axle holes a little more than 8 inches apart. I think 8 inches is a pretty good dimension, a pretty good starting point for your axle holes. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to make the top view of my car. I think all I want to do is maybe just round it over a little bit. And I'll round it over here. And then I'll come down, and right where this part narrows, I think I'll come across, and I think I'll have it narrow too. Notice I'm staying. I'm going to use my drafting tools here because I'm going to keep it right in the same place. I'm going to draw a light line here, and then I'm going to curve it in here as well. And I'm going to use that center line as a guide point because you want to make sure that your car is as straight as you can possibly make it. And then I'm going to bring both of those down to about this point, I think, to curve them back in. Use your drafting tools and make them work for you. So I'm going to curve that back out there, and I'm going to curve that back out there. So I've got everything going nice and even, and I think I'm even going to curve this back edge in a little bit. I think that would be kind of cool and kind of aerodynamic. So then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make, once I get everything finalized, I'm going to darken these lines in nice and dark, because the next thing you're going to do is you're going to come get a nice big piece of paper from me, and you're going to make yourself a pattern to trace onto your block. So this is the paper that you'll use for your pattern. All you're going to do is lay this down over it, and then you're going to go in and trace your car design. And if you need to, you can take your block to the back, one of the back windows. Sometimes that works better. But you're just going to sketch this out from the side view. And all I'm doing is doing a little trace job through to my drawing. And there I have the rough sketch traced through from that drawing. And I would go in and do the same thing from the top view. I'm not going to take the time to do that. You can do it. I would take this drawing, which is just traced from this one, and I would get scissors and I would cut out this design, and then I would physically lay it directly onto my block, and I would trace it out. And then after you get that traced out, then you're going to show Mr. Smith, and he is going to give you the okay to go and drill your axle holes as per the classroom demonstration, and he's going to give you permission to drill your cartridge hole as per classroom demonstration. Remember that you follow these dimensions. The dimensions that I have on this drawing are the ones that are absolutely necessary to go on to the next step. Okay? And that is the end of that step. And then after you get everything drilled and cut, you will start rough shaping your car as per classroom instructions. And that's it for that one.